In my head, I feel like I'm better than you. I'm better than you and you, because you know why?
Wow.
Like you gotta go to work. That money you making, baby, I done made that today already. Right.
Okay, today we have Chef Traniqua Grimes with us from Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen out of Houston, Texas.
Hi.
What's your energy today?
I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good space. So I'm a little nervous, but I know I have to get my story out there.
Right.
So I'm ready.
Well, baby, that's what we're here for today.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we start? Like, introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and what you do.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so I am a mom of 3, a grandmother of 4. One is deceased, but I have 3 beautiful grandkids who are my entire life. I always say they're the air that I breathe. And I know sometimes people be like, girl, stop. But like, I'm serious. They give me so much energy to keep going, because sometimes I don't want to go on, but looking at those 3 faces, I know that I have to keep pushing. Not to exclude my kids, but my grandkids are so bomb. It's a different type of love for real.
Yeah.
So that is a big part of who I am. It's a lot of sides to me that people don't know or don't even give a chance for me to show them.
Right.
But I think I'm a good person. You know,
I think so too.
I have moments where I'm just like, F everybody, but overall, like, I have a big heart. I'm different than I was. I think it's been like 11 months. No, yeah, because I'm almost a year.
Okay.
I'm almost a year anniversary post surgery, so I'm different than I was.
A year almost.
January, yeah.
Dang. Okay.
I'm totally different than I was last year, I should say. So my energy is kind of on the day-to-day basis. I'm still learning the new me, because I'm nowhere near who I was before surgery. So I'm still learning who I am. So yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen. How did that start? What gave you the passion for cooking? And just how did you build up your name and become Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen?
So for starters, I have always loved to cook. I've always loved watching cooking shows. I was not a normal kid. My grandma had a bookshelf with nothing but cookbooks. So everybody else would probably be outside playing. I would be on the floor underneath a table looking at the pictures. And still to this day, I don't have to follow a recipe. I can look at the picture and be like, oh, I feel like I can do that.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I do not read recipes at all. At all.
Oh, baby. Okay.
I know you do.
You know I do.
Yeah.
To the T. Okay.
Yeah. I just have never been like that. So I have always loved food. And my dad was the same way. Me and him used to get on the phone, because he lived in Louisiana. And we used to always talk about Rachel Ray. She was like one of my favorite people. Yeah. Before Paula Deen, I love Rachel Ray. Yeah. And he would always be like, he would be looking at the cooking, but he would also be looking at Rachel Ray for whatever reason.
What?
Yes. So, food has always been a passion of mine, but I also always love working with kids. So that's why when I'm not cooking or was not cooking, I would go to teaching, because that's that was what I thought was my first love. But really, my first love is cooking. So for years, I thought growing up I was going to either be a lawyer like my Aunt Debbie, or I was going to be a singer, because I used to could sing. I don't know what they did to me during surgery, but I cannot hold a note.
You don't think so?
No, I know I can't. No.
We're going to have to try it out a little later in the show.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
Why not?
Because I don't have it no more. Like, I try to sing like in the room and stuff, or in the shower, and I'm like, damn, what happened? It's bad.
That devil girl
got me.
He got you. No, he didn't.
No, he did not. He did not.
He did not. Okay, what part of Louisiana is your dad from? Because I know in Louisiana, cooking is big. Like, what
He
part
is
is he
actually
from?
not from Louisiana.
He's not from
My dad is
Louisiana?
from Conroe, Texas, girl.
What?
He left Conroe when I was 12 years old and made Louisiana his home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he passed away, he was there. He was
I
in
thought maybe
Louisiana.
that's where the cooking
No,
part of the cooking
I don't
came
know
from.
where that came from because I don't remember my mom cooking a lot.
Yeah, it was your grandma.
We were on a schedule.
Yeah.
So my mom cooked like the same every week. We had kind of the same thing. Like I knew for sure on Thursdays we was gonna eat spaghetti.
Oh, you see.
On Fridays we was gonna eat fish, fries, and salad.
Wow.
But so my mom always worked 2 jobs and went to school, so she didn't do a lot of cooking. But I started cooking when I was 12 for us, you know.
Wow.
So spaghetti was my first thing that I learned how to cook. But so Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen was not Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen at first. It was Niqua's Kitchen when I first started out.
Yeah.
And when I started out cooking, I used to cook all the time and post my food, and people would always be like, girl, you need a restaurant.
Yeah.
But I never thought about that. My mind was on like getting me a daycare.
Yeah.
It was never about a restaurant. I never thought I would have one. But my mother-in-law, she was cooking at her facility for like truck drivers and stuff that would pass by. I would post her menu on my page.
Yeah.
And she can cook good, no lie, but I feel like for young people want to see color. Like,
you want to see something different.
Yes, we want the gravy with the chicken or pork chops, but we got to see some yams with cabbage and macaroni.
We don't want
it
all to be brown.
Right.
Yeah.
But her mind wasn't for that. She's just like, okay, I'm going to make some more gravy, rice, maybe cabbage, homemade biscuits. Like, that was her thing. But I would post it, and like some people would comment on my post, like, where you located at, but not a lot of people. Right. So I was telling her, and my kid's dad at the time, I was like, look, your mama needs to like kind of change it up, because like young people, like, we want soul food, but we want color. And you couldn't tell him nothing. He was just
to be
like,
appeasing for us to want it.
Right.
Have to look good.
But he didn't care what I said. He was just like, my mama know what she doing, whatever. So at the time, we lived like, I think 30, 40 minutes away from where they were. And I was like, well, I'm going home today, and I'll check on y'all later on, see how much money I made. When I went back, I was like, what your mama made today? And he said $50. And I was like, $50? I was like, what? I told y'all. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to post that I'm going to cook next week, and I'm going to cook chicken spaghetti. I think my first meal was chicken spaghetti, corn, and I think I did like a strawberry cake. Okay. And I posted it, and people, commented and wanted it. Yeah. And I think that day I made like $600. And I was like, shit, I'm doing this tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. And so it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the beginning of Niqua's Kitchen.
That was the beginning of Niqua's Kitchen. And it kind of took off because for a long time, I was the only person in Conroe, which people probably would beg to differ. Yeah. But I was the only person in Conroe that was cooking and selling food. Right. And then I started a delivery service. My brother-in-law and sometimes my kid's dad, so for me to say not husband. Yeah. My kid's dad, he would like go around like help deliver for me too. I had doctor's offices, schools. Okay. It like pretty much everywhere I had sold up, but it's so hood, sold up. Sold up. It is what it is, you know. So then after that, everybody started cooking, which is fine, you know. That's just kind of how it started. But after I, moved on up, like I kind of stopped wanting to do plates. And at this time, my grandma passed away. And when my grandma passed away, I was just like, what's life without Bill? Like, how do I move on without Mimi? Yeah. So I didn't want to cook, and I didn't for a couple of months. And one day my dad called and he was like, you still not cooking? I was like, nope, I'm not. And he was like, well, Miss Bev is what he called her. Yeah. She would not want you to give up on your dream. And I was like, that ain't my dream. Yeah. And he was like, yes, it is. He was like, you love cooking. And so he said, I tell you what, why don't you start by cooking for your granny and name your business Niqua Mimi's Kitchen? I was like, that's ugly. Oh, your dad gave you that name. And I was like, that is ugly. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And he was like, I'm telling you, when you change your name, add your Mimi in it, you'll feel better. And I did it. Oh, that's sweet. And that's kind of how I started back in 2017.
He gave you that push to go ahead and start it. Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew he gave you that name.
Really? Oh, yeah. It came from him.
Yeah. Well, suggested the name Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
That at that point, you were blowing it out the water with cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was super busy, making a lot of money. Able to provide for my family, not just my household, but people around me.
Yeah.
That's related to me. If they had a hard time, like I definitely had to be able to give to them to take care of whatever they need to take care of.
Yeah.
I was blessed, and so I was blessing people that I love. So I was in a good space with the cooking. Like, sometimes I think that's kind of what kind of got other people motivated, even if that is their crafts.
Yeah.
I feel like saying like, oh, she just went and got this kind of car. Like, let me start cooking. A lot of money cooking. Yeah. Because my father-in-law, well, at the time when I was cooking, I didn't have my own car. Okay. I never really had to have my own car because my kid's dad always had 2 cars, so I could always use one of his, and I would use his Tahoe at the time. Okay. And so I was kind of delivering my food in that. When it was my turn to deliver, I was using his Tahoe. And then I told my grandma, I was like, but rewinding back to before she passed, I was like, Mimi, I need my own car because I kind of feel like I got to move. Like when he want me to move because it's his car, I need my own car. And she was like, okay. And she, her provider at the time went to this car lot and they were saying, you get a car for $500 down. I'm like, okay, because I got the money, I'm going to go. Yeah. So I drove his truck to the car lot. And when I went in there, the man was like, where your check stubs and all that. And I was like, I have my own business. I don't have check stubs, but I got bank statements. And he was like, show them to me. But I went there with no bank statements. Yeah. So I was like, is there a way I can get online? And he was like, girl, don't worry about that. He was like, what's the name of your business? So I told him, he was like, bring us some food up here Saturday, and that'll be like your proof of income. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I told him, I said, well, I'll leave my card, with you. Yeah. And then when I come back, we can just run the card, for $500, whatever. And so I ended up getting, my granny had already picked out the car for me and everything. It was a Lincoln MKX, I believe, the SUV. Nice. And everybody then was like, damn, like you must really be making a lot of money off the food. And really I was, but I was blessed because I didn't have to put a whole lot of money down. And actually I was so blessed in that season that when I went back, I told him, I'm like, Derek, I don't want to give you this $500. And he was like, you don't? And I was like, no. He was like, well, we're going to redo the deal. I'm going to talk to my finance manager. When he came back, he said, girl, get out of my office. You got this car for $0 down. What? Yeah. So at that point in my life, like God was really opening doors for me. Right. My cousin was working at a church. I ended up catering for he passed away. I can't think of his name. Rance Allen. I ended up doing a catering for him. Okay. And then it just went up from there. Like I was catering for doctors' parties at their homes, and then that's when I knew no more selling place. Like I'm a chef now.
I'm chef.
I'm a chef. Yeah, like I'm not chef. Selling place. Like I'm done. I felt like I was kind of like 50 cents. I'm popping the trunk and selling tapes out of there. Now I moved on. I'm not doing it no more. So yeah,
I've elevated from the hood place.
Elevated.
Got it. Yes. Yeah. So I know the past, I guess maybe year or two. Maybe 2 years. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. There's been some struggles. Your business kind of took a turn. From being on top to just kind of being bashed.
Right.
How did we get there? Like what happened? Like what was the pivotal moment that made you want to stop Niqua and Mimi's Kitchen?
Oh Lord, I don't want to get emotional, but cooking is hard. Well, not cooking when it's your gift is not hard, but not having enough people in place to help you, not having people want to help you. Yeah, because I had nobody in my family besides my kids and their dad when they were available to help me. But other than that, it was just I was a one-woman show.
You know, I've told you several times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what to, like, I wouldn't know the first step.
Yeah.
If somebody called me and was like, Brooke, I need you to cater 50 people soup.
Yeah.
How many potatoes I'm supposed to buy? Like, how much pasta do I buy?
Yeah.
How much sauce do I, like, I would be lost. So I couldn't imagine doing it on the scale that you did it by yourself. You know?
Yeah. You know, people do not ever, for me, people are so ready to bash me and talk bad about me. Nobody ever sits back and say, I've never seen not one person help this girl with cooking. You know, I never had a finance person to help me with finances. I never had anybody to say, you know what, she need help catering. I'm gonna help her cater. Nothing at all. So I would cook the food, deliver the food, set up the food, serve the food all by myself.
And clean up.
Yeah, and clean up.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think me not now, if I knew then what I know now, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, even if it's not your family, because I think I expected people in my family to want to see my business succeed.
You wanted them to just volunteer almost. Like,
yes.
I can see that she trying really hard. Let me go put in a few hours with her just to help. Yeah.
Didn't happen. I didn't even have family members buy food from me. No.
Yeah.
But I would see them posting plates from other people, but not me. So,
That's
you
hurtful.
know, yeah.
That's hurtful. Yeah.
But it really just gave me the drive to continue to keep going, you know, because like, look, you don't want to buy food for me? That's fine. I mean, it hurt, but like, okay, you out here supporting somebody else.
But you know what? You don't have to. Because most of the time it's people that I don't know that support me.
Right.
I came into a whole new city. No one knew me.
Right.
You know? So it's the people that you don't know that support you the most.
Right.
Not the people you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think for me, like, that was a part in my life that I kind of sabotaged myself, really.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. Trying to do too much, taking on too many jobs in one day. Like, this year was the first time I've been in business since 2013 that I've actually gotten to spend time with my family during the holidays.
On the holidays.
Yeah. I have booked jobs on my birthday. You were like one of my people that I did on my birthday.
Yeah.
Like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, I've even done something on Black Friday, you know, which I think the person had like a Friendsgiving. So, you know, I'm just always there. I'm always up cooking all night, all day, you know, doing whatever. But I never took a step back to say, you know what, Traniqua, you need to like stop chasing the dollar and like, because that's exactly what I had got.
Chasing the dollar.
Big headed. Like I was having it my way and making money. I had moved into like a nice home twice.
Yeah.
You know, the first home me and my husband got when we got married. But that was really me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was us as a team, but it was really my drive that got us in there and kept us there for 5 years. It was me selling food. You know, really is what kept us there. You know.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'm busting my ass like all night to make sure that, you know, this lifestyle that we had was continuing to go the way that we wanted it to go. So, but now I wish that I had not been so caught up in money, that I had taken time to say, you know what, let me sit down, let me try to hire somebody. Because and my aunt even told me one time, she was like, you know, there's a temp agency, you can go through a temp agency to get like people, bus boys and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But then
I didn't think about that.
Me neither. So she said it, but I never went through with it. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna drive way to Katy by myself. I'm gonna work this party by myself. I'm gonna clean up by myself.
Just not being able to delegate stuff to other people. I think that is I can't say it's a control thing, but it's like a quality thing. Because I know exactly how that feels. Like some stuff you just feel like you have to do it or it's not gonna be done right. You just feel like you have to be the face of your Niqua and me,
Yes.
I have to be the face of my business.
Yeah, and even in that, sometimes because I wanted for it to be me that was singing. I don't want nobody cooking my food.
Yeah.
I want to cook the food.
Yeah.
I want to deliver the food.
Yeah.
So I can say, hi, I'm the owner. Well, all the while, because I have driven too far without the proper equipment. When I put this chicken out, we got to wait a little longer to eat because the chicken is cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about those things,
Yeah.
that I really should have been doing as a chef to keep my name good. And some stuff I can admit that I did wrong, but some things did not happen that people blame me for or bash me for. So, yeah.
Wow. So how did that bashing, how did it occur and how did it affect you? Like, how did it affect your business? How did it affect you emotionally and mentally?
So the first incident I had with bashing was there was a lady who contacted me. She said she wanted meal prep. And I should have knew then, you know how they say red flags, like I saw the red flags, but I wanted the money, so I ignored the red flags.
The money.
And she told me that she saw a post that I know I didn't post on my business page. I posted on my personal page. So she said she wanted meal prep, but her meal prep wasn't meal prep. She wanted oxtails, cornbread, spaghetti, like all this kind of stuff. And her reasoning was she wasn't from here and she missed Southern food. So I'm like, okay, well, I really should charge you a little more, but I'm going to give you the price that you saw.
Yeah.
So she sent the money over, but she never contacted me from her account. It was always her niece's account, she said, which was another red flag.
Right.
We never could meet or get on one accord for her to pick up her food. I tried several times to get her food. I even sent my sons way to Rankin Road to her house. We lived off 242. I sent him to her house. Late at night, I told him, at that time he was nervous, like my mama.
About how far of a drive was that?
About 30 minutes.
Okay. He was young then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, Mom, I'm kind of nervous about sitting in this woman's yard.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to call her. Don't go knock on her door. I'll call her to come out. And he sat there for so long and she didn't answer. So I told him to leave. Like, don't leave the food outside. Just leave and bring the food back. Well, at that time, a lot of people was tagging me in the black, I think it was black-owned businesses on Facebook. It was a group.
It's a Facebook page.
Yes, a black restaurant group too.
Yeah.
I was in all those groups because I'm popping, so people, tagging me in certain things. And she ended up messaging me, I think, saying that she was going to go on this page if I didn't refund her. So I'm like, refund you for what? Like, I've been trying to get in touch with you to get your food. I've remade the food like 3 times, which means I went and bought oxtails after oxtails after oxtails to cook this.
Those are so expensive.
Exactly. And I'm like, and you didn't come get it, so I don't feel like I owe you a refund.
Yeah.
So then when she told me she was going to go to that group, the person that ran that page messaged me. And he was like, look, if you don't get this under control, we're going to blackball you. And I'm thinking like,
hold on. Wait, the person that runs the group,
I guess
who is this person? Like, why do they feel they had the power to blackball something? You get what I'm saying?
Well, they definitely tried. So when I talked to her, not this time, I'm trying to send her money. I don't know if, I feel like it had to have been somebody that I knew because she had told me she worked out 1488 at a clinic. She was a nurse. Gave me her name and all that. And I ended up calling that clinic. They never heard of her.
What?
Yeah.
That is weird.
They never heard from her at all. And she went on that page and posted screenshots and had people bad mouthing me. And that in turn, I had an incident with a lady from Willis. She ended up, you know how it is, like if somebody posts like, Brooke messed up my hair one time. Everybody's like, put me in
too. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. So everybody started, like, people that I didn't even knew had an issue with their food comment under this woman's stuff like, yeah, I had an issue with her in this month and that month and that month and all that. So my mama ended up calling me and she is in tears. She's like, it's over like 40,000 comments about you.
40,000, Traniqua?
Girl,
40,000 comments about you. 40,000, Traniqua.
It got so bad to where my kids, my oldest one, she went on there and was like, I gotta defend my mama because they live with me, so they know, they live with me.
Yes.
But what happened? So they like, no, I'm not gonna let you bash my mama.
That's not what happened. Yeah.
And one of my best friends, Alicia, I had ended up getting the money to her, so she ended up able to send the money to her. I think she zealed it to her. Yeah. So she even went on there and was like, the lady got her money back. Why are we still going on here talking about her?
How did one incident turn into 40,000 comments?
It was crazy. So crazy that I had a meltdown. Like, it was really bad. Like, I just did not want to cook no more because, that wasn't true, but for somebody to go to that extent to try to destroy my business and what I worked so hard to build, whether you feel like I'm running my business the way I should run or not, I'm busting my ass trying to run my business. Nobody taught me how to run a business. Right. I did this on my own.
You winging it.
Right. Yeah. So, like, give me, like, some credit for that, but don't bash me, and that's what happened. Yeah. And this lady, Lisa Bradley, I'll say her name, and I adore her to this day. She ended up messaging me. We were not friends on Facebook. We weren't friends in real life. But she messaged me and she was like, I want to invite you to lunch. And she was saying she felt sorry for me. It's like she read all of that. And she was like, I feel sorry for you. Like, I want to help you rebrand yourself. And so I started working close with her. And I decided to change the name of my business to my daughter who passed away. I changed it to her name. It was called Jada's Catering Experience, I think. But they didn't sit well with me because I was like, I got a new name. Now I got to reintroduce this name and try to get people to know who this person is, and I just didn't feel right about it. So I told Lisa, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to Niqua Mimi's Kitchen.
I've rebranded.
So I went back. Cause like, what's the point? If you doing all that hard work,
hard work for it to just disappear. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And so after that, I was just like, I'm done. Dang. I went into a little shell and I didn't talk to people for a while. Yeah. But then in the midst of that, and it's just like every time something happens, God always opens a door for me. Mm-hmm. So during that time, I'm taking a hiatus. My friend Keisha, she ended up messaging me saying, hey, it's a lady who has a deli. She doesn't want to use it. Okay. Would you like to use it? And I was like, what? Like, how much is it a month? And she told me the price. I ended up talking to the lady. She wanted to know my passion. Mm-hmm. She told me, I don't have a passion for cooking. I just opened this because I want the money, but I'm using it as a deli, not like a kitchen.
Not an actual kitchen.
So I end up subleasing from her. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of my way of like, okay, y'all did that, but like God did this. Right. So now I'm in a building now. And then that turned out to be a disaster. Oh, wow. That lady, I don't know, but I think it was like jealousy for her, like, if I let somebody move in my house and I wasn't decorating my house, but I go by there one day and they got it decked out. Well, now I want my house back because now I know how to decorate, And I had the line like out the door one day and she came there clapping her hands. I need you to pack your stuff and get out. Like, I got customers sitting in there eating, customers standing outside.
And she came there
clapping. I need you to get out.
Why?
Get out. Pay me $1,500. I'm like, what? So my aunt came up there and she was like, how much does she owe you? Like, what does she need to pay you to stay here? My aunt was already to pay her and she went outside and the security guard came in and she told me, she said, she outside telling people she don't like what you posting on Facebook.
What?
And I was like, what? I said, I have to do that because remember, I'm coming from my house, selling food out of my house, selling food in Conroe to now I'm in Houston. So I have to go live. I have to put the location so people know now they can come sit down and eat. But I think for her to see me do so well in so little time and she wasn't doing no numbers, there.
It rubbed her the wrong way.
So she wanted me out. But then my mama, my mama is she don't play, and she don't play about me. She got on the phone. She called the property manager, but the manager said there was nothing that I could do.
Wow.
Because I was subleasing from her.
Yeah.
So, mind you, while I'm in there, like I'm making money, so I'm buying all kind of stuff to decorate the place, and I bought new appliances. She locked it up and kept everything. She kept everything. I ended up calling the police because she had told me, I'll meet you before I go to Colorado. So I fly up there early in the morning to try to get my stuff out. She didn't show up. The police told me it was a civil matter and I would have to take her to court because there was nothing they could make her do because it was her place.
Wow.
So I ended up losing everything that I had in there. So then I go back home.
So what all did you buy?
Oh my God. Tables and chairs. Penny press.
The panini thing. Yeah.
I bought that fryers, 2 or 3 fryers because I was doing a lot of chicken waffles.
Yeah.
So I had 2 or 3 fryers. I had bought like a big sign that said kitchen. I got that from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
So,
and I know that wasn't cheap.
Plants, all that in there. So,
wow. And she just kept it.
She kept it.
She liked what you did with it. And she wanted to keep
yes.
Oh, that's messed up, though.
Yeah. It really hurt me, brought me down. But my mom ended up calling the manager. So from there, I'm talking to the owner of the whole company.
Okay.
And he was just like, "Oh, I've heard a lot about her. Like the manager in the office, she's come up there every morning to get breakfast, get lunch. So she had been telling him like, we got to lay in the building. Now we don't have to leave the building. We can eat here.
Yeah.
And whatever my mom says to him, my mama called me. She said, well, you got a new spot. Their company is putting you in a new building. And so I went and looked at the location. I really liked it. I didn't like the fact that it was purple, but hey. Hey. So I ended up getting that facility, that part, that unit. And met somebody who told me that he wanted to invest in me. And he was going to be taking care of all the financial situations. I didn't have to worry about that. I just need to focus on buying the food. So that's what I did.
Oh.
I believe this person. I mean, we had a real meeting, like I'm really thinking, okay, he believe in me. He going to take care of all this.
Wow.
So, come to find out, he was paying the rent all right, but with a fake credit card. So.
Wait.
Yeah.
So, wait, you got to take me back. Because at the time, wait a minute. Okay, who is this? Don't say his name.
Right.
How did this investor come along? Like, how did that happen? Like,
I've known him for a while, but
so y'all were just friends.
We wasn't nothing. I've just known him, and he was actually in the food
industry.
Yeah, if you want to say that, kinda. And when he messaged me, I was just like, okay, this sounds good. Told me to write down everything that I needed, how much I felt like the expenses would be per month, like if I wanted to paint the place, So I did that, and then that turned into a complete nightmare for me because I'm just chilling, I'm just going out making my money in the evening. I'm open all day from 6 in the morning to 3:30.
Yeah.
Leaving out of there with a bag every day.
Wow.
And I'm just like, y'all want to go shopping? Asking my kids.
Yeah.
Not thinking hell, I got rent to pay.
Right.
At this place. No. I'm like, y'all want to go shopping? So we just out here living.
Yeah.
And
blowing the bag.
All right. And then one day I got an email from the property manager from that property. And she was telling me hey, you such and such amount behind on your rent. And I'm like, oh no, I have an investor that's taking care of that. And she was like, well, no, the rent has been paid, but it's with a fake credit card. And so she was like, you can either take care of the whole balance or you got to get out. So they end up locking the door and keeping all my stuff in there.
Again?
This is all new stuff at this time. They kept all that. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to try to come up with this money now, because now I'm just like blowing money fast.
Yeah, BMF.
Yeah.
In the kitchen world.
In the kitchen world, I'm blowing money fast. Like, I ain't really caring about too much, but now I'm like, damn, I should have like not took y'all shopping so much.
Right.
You know, if I had known that, I would have been. But I was just not. I was just out here living life. You know, big headed.
Kind of being irresponsible with your money.
Irresponsible as hell. Like irresponsible as hell, because you know what? I really believed, and you know how they say, I heard a lady say it the other day, whatever you sing, you start to believe.
Yeah.
I really was believing, spend a check and get it right back. Because that is how my life was.
Like, it was almost like a dope boy type.
I felt like a dope man.
Yeah.
I ain't lying.
Damn.
Yeah. And one of my sons I used to always play on my deliveries was Young Jeezy, 4 Zones.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hope my hustle don't
So you was really
thugging in the kitchen world. Like, I really like straight thugging, because I'm like, in my head, I feel like I'm better than you. I'm better than you and you, because you know why?
Wow.
Like, you gotta go to work. That money you making, baby, I done made that today already.
Wow.
Like, I could sell 5 or 6 plates and be cool for today.
I'm glad you're honest about that, because some people won't just be like, won't ever admit that I felt like I was better than you.
Yeah. God has definitely humbled me, because before I wouldn't have been able to say that.
Yeah.
But I did go through a stage where I just felt like, as my father-in-law would say, sitting in hot cotton.
Sitting in what?
Hot cotton.
High cotton?
High cotton.
High cotton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real country.
I really felt like real country.
That's
He
real
from
country.
Texas, girl. But I really felt like I was people that didn't have what I had, or even close
you felt
to
better
what I
than
had.
people.
Yeah.
But God will definitely humble you.
And He did.
God will definitely humble you.
Yeah. He did.
So what happened? What was that moment where God was like, you're doing too much. Let me sit you down.
Or
let me bring you back.
So, I've had several of those moments, but one of those moments during that time for me is, I was going through a lot of stuff in my marriage, and we ended up separating. During the separation, the owner of the house came back and said, because he did a lot of back and forth with us the whole time we was there. He wanted his house. He didn't want his house. He wanted to come back to the States. He didn't want to.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, so we went through a lot of that, and then finally he was just like, I want my home for my son. And I'm like, what? I had just got a foster child. And I'm like, I can't leave here right now. Like, I just gave CPS my address. She has to have somewhere stable to stay. Wow. Not only her, but my grandchild, my kids, you know. And I was working for CPS at that time. So I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? I got this baby that's 4 months. What am I going to do? And so I had to move.
That's clearly relying on you if she's in foster care. She didn't have nobody else.
Right. Yeah. So I had to move out. And I think for me at that time in my life, I was so stressed out. Like, stressed, beyond stress. Like, my marriage has failed. I was super depressed about that.
Yeah.
And then now I got this baby who I have to keep her till her mom can get her back. Because the situation wasn't her mom's fault. So the mom was fighting really hard to get her back.
Okay.
And so I'm keeping her because I know them. This is like family to me, you know. So I made a promise to somebody who was like my child to keep her child until she gets everything together. And then here I am. I don't have a place to stay now.
Wow.
So we had I think they gave us 24 hours to have everything moved out. I'm working a full-time job. I'm still cooking. And I got this baby. So we had to get out of there.
Oh my
ASAP.
God. Wow.
And my neighbors, because we had been neighbors for 5 years, everybody like, what can we do to help? Like, how can we? And I'm like, it's nothing y'all can do. He wants his house back. So we got to leave, you know.
Right.
But I had a plan, but then that plan fell through.
Wow.
So now I got this baby, my kids, we're going from hotel to hotel, staying in hotels. And at that moment, I was just like, this is too much for me, you know. And I was talking to Ashley, and she was like, you know what, I'm going to send a car to come pick you up. And she did send somebody to come get me. And she kind of took whatever we did that day. I think we just run around doing stuff for her.
Yeah.
The
kid
rap like kids.
Yeah.
I did get out, and my mind was like kind of clear for a few minutes, but I still had to go back to the hotel. And during that time, every day I would play Something Has to Break by Kiara Sheard. And I'm like, you know, God, you have got to do something for me and my kids. Like, I don't want to live like this. They've never lived like this. You know, we've always lived nice.
Yeah.
So for us to go from nice to now we don't know where we're going.
Oh, God.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And so my job, because it was a CPS, one of my managers was like, you know, the United Way helps like employees that work here. So I'm like, okay, well, I go. And lady tell me there's nothing she can do because of the amount of money that I make. So I'm like, why did they send me over here?
So it was like a gift and a curse.
Right. I'm like, why did they send me over here? And so I ended up applying for another apartment, and I didn't get it because it looked like I was still in my lease in my house.
Oh.
So I was like, damn, I sat in the parking lot of Walmart on 242. I cried and beat the hell out of my sternum.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is too much. Like, just take me because I don't want to live no more. Like, it was just, I think I had called you a few times. Like, look, I just don't want to live no more. Like, it's just too much on. Sometimes it can be too much on a person. And no matter how strong you think you are, you will break. You will break. You can walk around and just be tough and the meanest person to whoever and think you this high, but at the end of the day, you will break.
You will break. Something will definitely break you.
And I mean, I went there and leaving the United Way, I ended up looking online, putting in the neighborhood that was across the street from us. And I found a house, and the lady was really nice, and she was like, you want to come look at it today? I'm like, yeah, I want to come look at it because I need somewhere to stay like ASAP.
Yeah.
And so I go over there and I meet her at the house, and the house is beautiful. It's still, they just finished building it.
Brand new.
And we go in there, and I'm like saying to myself, this is my house. And she was like, we have one other person looking at it, but they have pets. The owner of this home doesn't want anybody living here with pets. So I said, well, you don't have to worry about that. Tell him I don't have not one pet, and I have all the money right now. Like, whatever he need me to pay, I can pay it. And so she was telling me that he's going to run your credit. And I said, well, I don't want him to do that because I've had people running my credit like every day for the past month.
And
like,
it's just making it worse.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I feel like he'll say no.
Yeah.
Because of all the inquiries I had on it. So she was like, well, he'll probably charge you extra. So I was like, okay. By the time I got done, and it's so funny that I'm talking to you about this because you were one of the people that was sending payments to him for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't have Zelle at the time.
Right, yeah.
So by the time I got done paying him, I was like $2,500 short, and my best friend Alicia, she gave me the money for it. She had just got her house, and she was just like, she's just one of those people, like, she hates to see me cry. She hates to see me sad, being mistreated or anything. She was like, friend, I really hate to hear you crying. I was at work one day. I could barely work with the kids because I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like,
you was just down in the dumps.
Yeah, like, I'm coming here to work with kids that have gotten taken away from their parents. But hell, I don't know if that's gonna happen to me.
Right.
You know, because I don't have a stable place to stay. And when she gave me that 25, I was like, good, I got the 25 to pay you back, pay the man or whatever. And I think I sent that to you, or either she zelled him, one of the two. So I got the moving truck. Everybody is there. We moving in today. This is the big day. I got a brand new house nobody ever lived in.
Right.
And Anna says to me, he said he'll work out a deal with you. He'll do something called lease to buy, like this home can be yours.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay. She was like, but the rent gonna be $2,800 a month. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Like, I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I got my clients. I got some celebrity clients, so I'm good.
Right.
And I'm working at CPS, so this gonna be good. She gives me the key hanging out like this. She's like, but before I give you the key, and I'm like, what? Because my auntie is outside with her moving truck and her people. What is it now? She was like, I need you to go get $2,800 more.
What?
She's like, $2,800 more and make it out to Realty One Group Experience. I had never heard of this place, so I was like, why do I have to make out a she said a cashier's check, and I was like, why do I have to give them a cashier's check? And she was like, oh, that's who I work for. And
I was about to say, the realtor sound like a scammer.
Oh, it was definitely a scam.
What?
So I was like, okay, so hell, I want to move in. Now I have given the CPS worker this address, let them know this is our permanent place to stay. And so now I got to go get this money. I had just got paid. So I go to the bank, get a cashier's check, come back, hand it to her. Because of when I moved in, I think it was the end of June, my rent wasn't due to July the 5th.
Yeah.
So she called back about $800. I'm like, what? I just gave you $28. So
what?
I had sent her. She ended up paying the $800. She was like, you know what? And this is what made me think she was sweet. She was like, I'll pay the $800 for you. And she was like, and you just pay me back whenever you get it. So I was like, okay, well, girl.
I was about to say, this sounds like a fucking lie.
I was in there for some months, and then I ended up getting served papers with eviction, like I need to move out. So I was like, why? And she was like, I was trying to tell you how he is, and da-da-da. I'm like, no, you told me he was your friend.
Yeah.
And, I was in a good space, so I'm thinking, this is about to be my forever home.
Right. You just told me that I could lease to buy this home.
Yeah.
So what's the issue now?
Girl.
Bitch?
So I fought that for so long. I went to court. My mom looked up something you could file for the people out there if this ever happens to you or you ever get evicted for not a good cause. Even if you have a cause, I think you can still file a motion, a writ to stay. Okay. So it gives you more time. So I did that, went to court. And with all the documents that I showed and text messages, I printed them all out between me and her, even the owner.
Yeah.
The judge dismissed it.
Okay.
And I was able to stay, but she told me she felt that these people were crooked, and she was like, Miss Grimes, if I were you, I would just leave the home. But the type of person I am, feeling like I got something to prove, because now I have posted that, the people that knew me and my kids was going back and forth from hotel to hotel. Like, what y'all talking about now? Because I just got me a big ass, nice house, better than my house that I was just in, and I did it by myself. Could you go pay $20,000 like out of pocket for your home? No.
Wow.
So I refused to go down without a fight.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't fight no more. Like, I left. Well, I had to move, and while we leaving out, getting the last stuff out the truck, I see a car down the street. It was a white Benz. I looked at Brie. I said, I think that's Anna. Girl was a realtor down the street, and a whole bunch of other stuff happened with that. We'll be here all day talking about that. But it was definitely a con going on. So, yeah, I think that right there for me was me knowing that it was time for me to cut all the I'm too good type stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it could happen to me.
It can definitely backfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.